What a delightful episode we have for you today. It's, of course, myself and Matt Serra, and our special guest for the entire show, hardcore legend. I hope you don't mind me saying that. Harley Flanagan is here. We also have Michael Bisping on the phone. This was a really, really fun show. So listen, if you don't agree, you're stupid.
He may finish it here. He's out. It is all over. He got rocked.
UFC and Digital Media present UFC Unfiltered with Jim Norton and Matt Serra, powered by Digital Media. Find your voice. And now, your hosts, Jim Norton and Matt Serra.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. I'm sitting between two maniacs.
Oh my goodness!
Matt is here, of course, and Harley Flanagan is our guest for the show. Wow, you guys have missed a lot already. We haven't even started.
Yeah, I just told him. I go, Harley. If people don't know Harley's he's a Renzo Gracie black belt, but that's not the most important. That's his best. That's first of all, that is the most important. But he's known for one of the guys that one of the originators of the hardcore scene here in New York City. What am I missing with that?
You ain't missing nothing, man.
That's
pretty much the case.
What year did you start?
Well, I've been playing music my whole life. So, I was playing in punk rock bands back in the late 70s before this whole so-called hardcore thing existed. Yeah. And that's kind of what ushered in that hardcore scene.
So with the Ramones and those guys?
Yeah, those are guys I grew up with. And, if you see my book, you'll see there's tons of pictures of me and, all the old New York people, Deborah Harry and Andy Warhol and all the old punk bands and all that stuff. So, yeah, I've been around.
Why did the Sex Pistols get the credit for it?
Because people always like the fucking English,
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like but we all know that the Ramones started punk rock in fucking Queens. Yeah. So let's get right past all that bullshit, Okay. Punk rock is from Queens, started by the Ramones, took birth at CBGB's.
I was going to bring up CBGB's. Yeah. Is it depressing that's gone?
Yeah, it's depressing, but you know what?
I've been there before, back in the day when I knew you. I stopped in there, and it wasn't really my scene.
No, it was a shithole, but it was a beautiful shithole. I mean, it wasn't for that place, a lot of music history, a lot of things would never have happened. Like the owner Hilly, his one criteria when he had started that club was, I don't care if I like the music, as long as you're playing original songs, you can play here. And I thought that was cool. And he really gave a lot of people opportunities. And if it wasn't for him, music wouldn't be what it is today, because he gave people that place to go and experiment and create shit.
You been there before, Jimmy? CBGB's?
No, I never went to
CBGB's.
CBGB's. No.
Never went to CBGB's?
Never went, no.
God damn.
Because you're a music guy.
I am, yeah, but I just never, I never went into CBGB's. I'm not big on clubs, you know what I mean? I'm kind of an isolated
I'm
creeper.
done on that shit, too.
Isolated creeper.
Yeah, I don't go to many. I just listen to CDs in my car while I was fucking cruising prostitutes all night.
Oh, man. Harley, when did you start? Now, I know you 20 years. When did you come down? I know it was either the mid or late 90s. When did you come down to Renzo Gracie?
I started in literally January, February or some shit of 96.
96,
yeah,
man.
It was still, wintertime.
Shoot, I was probably a blue belt.
Actually, you know what? It's funny because I remember training. I hadn't met you yet, and then I was away on tour or some shit, and I came back, and you and your brother and John Danaher were all blue belts, and I was like, who the fuck are these guys? I never even saw you guys as white belts. You guys must have got you know.
Well, you came around did you come around when it was Gracie Kukuk?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
I was going to wear my Gracie Kukuk shirt today just to fuck with you. The one from when he fought Oleg.
Yeah, that's some old school
stuff.
Yeah,
man.
There.
No, I remember when that motherfucker Kukuk was running shit over there.
Harley had some long ass hair.
Yeah, I had a shaved head, and then I grew my hair. Yeah. And then,
What made you go in? What made you go in the first time?
What made me go in was UFC 1 and 2. Yeah. Because I had, not for nothing, man. I've had more fights than most people will probably ever have. Of course, they were all on the street and shit, But I've punched people, I've kicked people, elbowed, stomped, whatever. I've done just about anything you could do. But the first time I saw an armbar, I was like, what the fuck was that? You know, like the first time I saw Hoist like choke somebody, like take a 200 and something pound guy and just like fucking, I'm like, what did he just do? I couldn't even wrap my brain around it.
Have you seen the Gracie in action?
Of course.
You seen
the one with you on the cover?
No, that's it. No, motherfucker.
VHSs.
No, motherfucker. You're thinking of a No Holds Barred thing.
Yeah, the old school.
When there was a fake picture of me and our old buddy Dave Lockhart.
Yeah, I remember those.
They put fake blood on us.
I remember.
They were selling like fights from Brazil. Renzo was selling them.
Yep.
And it was called Valley Tudo or No Holds Barred or something. This was old. I mean, dude, I must have been like 21.
I got all that shit in the book too.
Really?
Yeah, it talks about all that old school shit, man.
Yo, Harley's promoting a book too. It's called Hardcore: Life of My Own, and a new single which we're gonna play at the end. I didn't even know you had a book out. Nobody told me. So I was just researching
this book is it's a fucking hell of a ride, man.
This book is the punch in the face you want and need. Anthony Bourdain. That's a great quote. Do you know Anthony from Gracie?
I actually met. Well, no, he knows me from the '70s. He was telling me, man, I used to go to clubs and shit, and I'd be standing in front trying to get in. And then all of a sudden, this like 11-year-old kid fucking walks up and just like walks through. Like the bouncers are just like, "Come on in, Harley." And he's like, "Who the fuck is this kid?
Yeah.
Like what laws of the universe have been broken here that a fucking child is like walking into like the seediest clubs, like Max's and CB's, and like treated like, you know,
Tell
like
us,
a star."
how did you have that power?
I'm just a bad motherfucker.
Oh,
I was
shit.
born that way. Nah, dude, I've been playing music my whole life.
Yeah.
And I've been in bands since I was like, 10. I've been gigging and everybody,
But how'd you get the respect as a kid to get them to go in there?
Because
get
when
you
they seen me doing my thing, I guess, I mean, I was hanging out with all the people that were important back then. And, look, I come from a twisted family, okay? My mother, she was always involved with music. She wasn't a musician, but she was always, in the 60s, she was a hippie, and she was, drank and did all kinds of drugs. And, when I grew up, she was a stripper, and my dad was a dope fiend. I didn't even know my dad. So I've lived a pretty fucking crazy life from Jump Street, and I was going to bars and clubs with my mother when I was a little kid. And so they all knew me. Oh yeah, that's Rose's kid, so when I started playing in bands at like 9, it was just like bands would have me come up and guest drum and shit like that. And it just became normal.
Because you were a kid and they liked the idea of having a 9-year-old kid guest
it was
drum.
kind of cool. And people would fucking freak out, I mean, I remember Glenn Danzig from the Misfits, first time he saw me play at Max's, he was like, "What the fuck, is that a midget on drums?" And so he came up to the front of the stage and he's like, "Holy shit, it's a fucking little kid. What the fuck is that?" I mean, there's not many 10, 11-year-olds that could say they were hanging out with, Johnny Thunders and the Dead Boys and shit back then.
And you said you didn't know your father too much?
No, I didn't know him at all, actually.
You know what's amazing about that? Now, I just before we got on air, Jimmy, I think Jimmy got here right after that. Or you see his family leave?
As I'm walking in, they're walking out.
Kids,
I mean, if you see him with his kids, first of all, his big boy, 14 years old, he's headed right now to go to Renzo Gracie's academy to go do some training, he told me.
Yeah, that motherfucker's 6 foot tall
I
already.
mean, listen, last time I seen that kid, he was up to my waist.
I know.
And I felt like a few years ago.
It wasn't that long ago, man.
Yeah, man, I can't believe I'm up to his shoulders now.
He just got his fucking green belt.
Oh, that's great,
2 days ago.
He likes it.
Oh, yeah, man, these kids are tough, man.
If you see him with his kids, man, like there's kids that grew up without fathers, and it's like a cycle of abuse where all of a sudden they're like, why should I be in my kid's life? I wasn't having a father in my life, and it's a bad thing. Or there's the other type. There's the other type of person.
You don't want to be that guy.
Yes, exactly. And that's you. You're kissing your kids goodbye. The kid's 14. You're kissing him. You're kissing your other kid.
Hey,
I love that,
know what?
man.
You know what is beautiful, man? I've always been that way with them. And the fact that he's 14 and he's a big motherfucker and he still kisses me on my face and hugs me.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the most beautiful thing because, look, man, I've been one of the most fucking deranged, violent, crazy, whatever growing up, drugs, this, that, the other. But I always had a big heart.
Yeah.
And I've always loved kids. And, I didn't want to... All I want to do is try to give them a better shot than I had, be there for them.
Yeah.
He's
a very respectful kid, both of them. That's good.
Most of the time.
Did he ask to train? Did he ask to train, or did you say,
I actually kind of brainwashed them, I got to admit. Like, I started bringing them to the academy when they were like 6 months old, just getting them used to the smell and the vibe and the look and the fighting and the this and that. So by the time they were like 4 or 5 years old, they were like, "Daddy, can we come to school with you?" Because it was my school. They were like, "Can you come? Can we train? Can we?" And I said, "When you get a little older." And they kept begging me, and I was like, finally, I said, "Look, when you are ready to start training, I'll bring you in, but you're going to train until you get your black belt, because we're not going to start this if you're not going to commit. So when I bring you in," and they were like, yeah. So I got them in. But, they didn't realize they had been training already for years, because when I'd be at home playing with them,
Yeah, of course.
I'm fucking teaching them arm bars. I'm doing this with them. I'm doing that with them.
Yeah.
My fucking son, his first day he started training. He's like 7 years old. He's going for knee bars. I'm like, "You can't do those yet." You can't knee bar on the kids. No. You're fucking. So, they've been doing this shit since they were like.
That's great.
The youngest one since he was like 4 and a half, and the older one since he was 6.
It's so strange when you see like a friend, like we knew each other when we were kids. Excuse me, literally. I mean, a little bit older than that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a little bit older than me. But I was
like 30, so I was.
I mean, I was like 20. I mean, whatever I was young. Well, I'm about 10 years younger than you. How old are you?
I'm fucking gonna be 50, man.
All right. Well, you're 8 years older than me.
That's close enough.
Yeah, but listen. In other words, like you fast forward. And like every time we see each other, it's great. We don't see each other all too often.
No, man.
But it's weird because we came up together
Yeah.
at Henzo's, and so we have all those stories. But then you see somebody like it's like almost like you go through a time machine. Now I see you as a father.
Yeah.
It's kind of trippy. Man.
It is.
People say that to me too when they see me with my kids.
man.
Yeah, because I'm still a big kid, and you're still out here. And the way you can tell already you're out of your fucking mind.
But you know what? I actually, the joke of it all is as crazy as I have been my whole life, I actually teach the kids classes too, because I love kids and they love me, and they're not intimidated by me, because kids, they look at you with their heart. They don't judge you by, your appearance and this and that.
And you're a great, you're fun.
Yeah,
you're fun. You like to have fun.
I like
you're
to
a
play
black
with them.
belt in jiu-jitsu, and that's great.
How long did it take you to get your black belt?
It actually took me a considerable amount longer than most of my friends, because I was a touring musician.
Right.
So, I would train for, 5-6 months, and then I'd be gone for 3-4
Where's
months
Harley?
at a time,
And he comes back.
training. And I mean, I'd be like on tour. So when I'd come back, I'd still have, the techniques in my brain, but my cardio would be
of
shot to
course.
shit. And
My cardio stinks.
I'd be on tour, partying, doing all the other things that people do when they're on tour. I come back, I got a little bit of, I got to work myself back up.
How long is a class? I've been keep telling Matt I'm going to take a class. How long is each class?
Beginners classes are an hour.
I could do that.
Yeah, you could do that.
And how long? Wait, after beginner, they get longer. Hopefully shorter. They
Yeah,
get shorter.
hour and a half.
Oh, all right.
The advanced
Well,
classes.
when Jimmy wants to come down, you're always down there. I could go down there.
Bring his ass down anytime, man.
No,
if
I
you want to
told
come
him.
down today, man, come down and meet Henzo and
Anytime,
everybody.
man. It's a good time. It's good people.
Dude, that academy is so
man.
cool, man. I always tell people, Henzo is like one of the coolest guys on earth. He's
of
so
course.
fucking friendly.
I
so
have to have him
wonderful.
in here when he's been in here a couple of times. I got to get him in here when Jimmy's
Yeah,
in here.
it's usually when I'm away.
I know.
Yeah.
I need a co-host.
But you know what? That energy that he has, it trickles down, and that's why
Yes.
everybody in there has
Yes.
a
Good
smile
energy.
on their face. There's kids running around everywhere playing. Everybody's having a good time, and that's the beauty of Henzo and his academy and the students that he's made, like Matt and all these guys. I mean, look, Matt's it's like we could not see each other for 10 years, and it feels like we didn't miss a fucking beat. You know
I
what
think
I'm
because
saying?
we both haven't matured us.
Probably not, but
Let me ask you. Now, you told me before you've never been to Brazil, correct?
Nah.
Now, we started talking about this before we got on here, and
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Save this because
All
I'm
right.
going to bring this up. Now, I might be off. I got to think of maybe it's somebody else who's a fucking maniac, but I'm pretty sure you didn't get something branded into your fucking chest.
Oh, yeah, no, I did.
What the fuck? What am I, a nut?
How do you forget that?
Listen, you had me.
I got revenge branded into my chest.
Yeah. Where? Let me see.
See, when I train, it gets red, and you can see.
Yeah. Okay. You got it. But wait. No, you
Wait.
weren't in Brazil for that.
No, but it was
my
on.
God.
It was on TV in Brazil. It
That's-
was on Fantástico.
That's what it was. So I was in Brazil. This must have happened around 1998.
Yeah, like 97, 8. something
Okay,
like that.
I'm thinking my first time Brazil. I've been there a few times. All right, 97
Yeah, yeah,
maybe. When did I win the world championships? It has nothing to do with anything. But I was over. All right, that was 1999 in Brazil, but that has nothing to do with it. I don't know how I said it.
you fucking.
I'm a fucking
I love
asshole.
it.
But the first time I was there, I don't know how it got brought up, but they were talking about this crazy gringo on TV, and I'm like, oh, I go, that's fucking Harley. I go,
Yeah.
and it's before I really knew that you were like famous in circles.
Yeah,
Like, look,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
follow the hardcore scene, guys will come in there and go, holy fuck, you know Harley Flanagan?
Hey.
It's almost like MMA. People
Yeah,
might know
yeah,
me.
yeah.
There's some people that get excited to see me. Other people don't give a fuck. There's times I might be signing an autograph. Some lady come up to me, who are you? Do you ever have this? And then I'll go, oh, I'm Matt Serra. I don't know you. I'm like, all right.
I've heard that from women I was fucking.
Oh fuck! What? I gotta check my health. Something's wrong. When I laugh too hard, I really feel like I'm gonna faint, man. Holy fuck, Harley! All right, so you got revenge.
Yeah.
Wait,
Brandon-
how did, first of all, why did you do it and how did they do it?
Oh, first of all, I did it because I was out of my fucking mind and I was having, I don't know, I was having some anger issues at the time. So, and they burned it in with like, they had like a blowtorch and little pieces of metal and a vice grip, and they held the metal and they'd heat the metal and they just.
Weren't you chained? Weren't you like? Weren't you or no?
Oh, each letter.
Dude, I wasn't even fucking high or drunk. I was fucking stone
Wait,
cold
it,
fucking
it,
sober.
it wasn't even just one word.
No,
It was a bunch
man,
of
each
letters.
letter took like 3-4 swipes, man. And I'm fucking, and it smelled like it was burning flesh.
How
what
long
the fuck
did it
you
take?
think it smelled like? I don't remember, man. It's in the 90s. You know how many?
No, this was-
how fucked up I've been since.
I remember. See, that's why his story gets a little messed up. I thought you were actually in Brazil doing
Nah,
it.
it just got aired over there. Yeah.
Oh, because no, it aired over there. I don't know if it aired over here. I think.
No, I don't think so.
How long did
um,
it hurt for? You out of
It didn't
commission for
really.
a month?
I was, dude. It didn't even hurt. I was afterwards. I was at the bars.
You were
ripping
like-
my shirt off, smacking the wounds, going you know.
Harley. Dude, let me tell you.
We've had very different lives.
Not for nothing. I've had a very different life from most people.
Oh, dude, I'm happy you're doing so well, though.
Yeah, man. Life is good, dude.
What made you write this book?
You know what? I wrote this book because, I tell the story in there. Like, people have been telling me my whole life I need to write this shit down. And then I got to tell you, in the 90s, before I got with Renzo, I had, like, seriously relapsed into getting fucked up. And I was like, I was doing dope and, smack, and I was smoking a ton of dust, and I was basically doing any other drug that was anywhere in between the two. Yeah. And,
Before you go on, Chris, I know this is unfiltered. Could we filter out the part about him teaching the kids class at Henson?
well, no. See, this is part of the redemption.
I'm only kidding. You redeemed yourself.
No, but see, the fact is
I'm just bringing you close.
I went through a lot of shit in my life, and I've gone through periods of extreme drug use in my youth, and I started writing the book around then because I was like, you know what? Chances are I'm not gonna fucking live too long, and I got to tell my story because if I do drop dead, some other asshole's going to tell it and they're going to get it all wrong.
Yeah.
And it's going to wind up being like, not to compare myself with the other rock and roll greats who passed away, but like, it would have been cool to read Janis Joplin's book if she wrote it herself, or Jim Morrison's self-told life, or whoever the fuck, Sid or whoever. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? If I don't write this shit down, chances are I'm going to kick the bucket, whether I fucking OD or get hit by a bus or stabbed or whatever the fuck. And then some journalist or some asshole from my band or some other schmuck is going to write a book and they're going to fucking tell it all wrong and it'll be a bunch of bullshit and it'll be some self-serving story that they try to sensationalize my life. And I was like, you know what? I got to tell this story myself, for better or for worse. And the fucking funny shit is that since I wrote this book, it took off, dude. I mean, I had a feature story in the New York Times. I had Vice did a thing on me. Anthony Bourdain did the blurb for the book, and now fucking people are coming to me that they want to make a major fucking movie out of this shit. And I got television networks talking to me about this shit. I mean, all these things are coming that I did not anticipate, didn't expect, and so it must be a good book. I don't know what the fuck to say, Well,
you got it. You're first of all, anybody that's listening now could tell you're an interesting person.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
I want to ask too. When you said you started taking jiu-jitsu 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You already had a bunch of street fights.
Oh, yeah,
Did that make your street fighting less? Like, were you after you learned a certain amount of fighting, and you're like, all right, now I know that I can I'm a problem, so I have to back off?
Well, you know what? It had a mixed effect on me because I was still getting into an occasional brawl when I first started training, all the way up until 2012. But the first time that Okay, I got in a fight in Texas, right? I got in a fight in a parking lot. But it was,
How long ago?
This was probably like 2000 or something, right? And this big fucking black dude. Turns out he was a corrections officer. He was like 6 and change, 300 pound, big motherfucker.
Those guys are tough. They deal with convicts all day.
Let me tell you something. This dude punched one of my friends in the face, knocked him out. Punched another guy, and his nose exploded. He turned around, punched me. And I saw that flash bulb that you see when you get hit really hard. You don't expect it. Yeah. But as I was going down, I saw his knees and I ripped his fucking legs out. So it was like I got the shot, but I recovered very quickly and fucking did a double leg on him. And that motherfucker went down with such force that his head bounced off the ground, knocked all the wind out of his lungs. And then I mounted him, punched him a couple of times, and then I got kicked in the back fucking by one of his friends, and then I'm like rolling my back and I'm like scooting backwards, throwing up kicks and all this shit. So I realized then that, jiu-jitsu is the fucking greatest thing on the world, but when you're on the street and you're dealing with multiple opponents, you're better off picking up a fucking garbage can or some shit, because people got friends and there's no such thing as a fair fight on the street.
What sparked that fight, do you know? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, it was like they started fucking with the punk rockers.
Yeah,
a bunch of brothers saw a bunch of white boys in the parking lot and started talking shit. And then the next thing you know, one of them punched this dude's
Did you have the
girlfriend.
shaved head back then?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I thought you were a little Nazi.
Nazis.
Whatever, man.
You had your combat boots on?
I had no combat boots
All right.
on. Hey, look, man. Look.
But it helped you.
Hey, yo.
But the jiu-jitsu helped you survive that fight, and it also taught you, like, hey, man, it doesn't matter how good you are if there's 10 guys coming at you.
Well, you know what? Jiu-jitsu has helped me in several fights, but more than anything, it gets you, your reactions to things are tighter. Like, I always fought when I was young, so like I'm very street minded. Like we get into a fight and I'm already seeing weapons everywhere. I'm like, here's a brick, there's a bottle. I'm a street fighter. So jiu-jitsu, it took that violent aspect away and gave me something fun that still had that same type of flow and stuff, and it keeps your reaction time. It makes you sharp. It teaches you how to, I would have never known how to choke someone out the way I know now, or armbar. I mean, it's a fucking beautiful thing. I love jiu-jitsu, but fighting, it's a little different. It's a little different,
What do I got in my hands here?
Oh, my last record. Yeah.
That's a great sticker, too, by the way.
I'm looking at the sticker on your record.
It's not actually on the record. I put it in there.
You put it in there. You gave me the sticker. Yeah. And what is that? And now, first of all, jiu-jitsu is known as the gentle art. You know that?
Yeah.
Well, it's a little takeoff on Trump's hat.
It says, make jiu-jitsu violent again.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Well, come on, man. You know as well as I know that back in the day, man, the people that were training jiu-jitsu were some fucking hard motherfuckers. I mean, this shit was not a family-oriented sport.
Well,
this was, back in the day when it was like Valet Tudo and all that shit, it was like rival crews. Like if you trained lucha libre, you trained jiu-jitsu, you ran into each other, there was a fucking fight.
Yeah, you're talking about old school Brazil.
Fuck old school Brazil. I'm talking about old school, period.
Well, listen, fucking lucha libre. Where the fuck is that in
but my point is you have motherfuckers from another school. It was on. I mean, even before I started training, like seriously, I had friends from one that trained in this one karate place in DC, right? And when we'd see dudes from like the Shotokan school, we'd fuck them up just on principle. So my boy went up to this one instructor one time. He's like, "Don't you teach at the Shotokan Academy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." My boy fucking blasted him, fucking put him on his ass.
Now you don't want. Nah, he's totally wrong. Now you don't want. You don't want. What the fuck's the matter with you?
This is old school.
You want. I know, but you're joking when you say make it violent again.
Hey, what? I'm joking. I'm joking. You gotta have a fucking sense of humor. Come on, man.
Because I'm gonna go find a guy from Tiger Showman and just beat him up because he's from.
Well, my kids used to have major rivalries with the Tiger Showman's kids at all the tournaments. They'd roll in like 100 Tiger Showman's kids. My kids be looking at them, foaming at the fucking mouth, ready to choke the shit out of them.
Know what I realized just now? Some things never change. It's not this guy.
Hey, man.
Wait, hold on. I'm talking to a guy that got revenge branded into his chest one letter at a time. What am I trying to make sense of?
I was also kissing my kid goodbye. Okay,
listen,
so
I'm not judging you. I know you a long time. Yeah. You know I love you.
Yeah, man.
But you're out of your fucking mind.
Hey, look, man. It takes one to fucking know one. You know?
Did I ever say I'm normal?
No, right.
Did I ever say it? First of all, I think normal's a made up word. I don't think anybody's.
Hey, look,
normal.
man.
You know who pretends to be normal? Look what's wrong with my head. Look. That's the only one in this room I'd say that I would say.
You're saying our producer pretends to be normal.
Look, man. There's no fucking
because
normal
Jimmy's
Renzo Gracie black belt.
Jimmy's been in the radio so long because people don't know what I'm doing with my neck.
Yeah, Matt craned his head. I had to say.
Jimmy basically, I'm so stunad. I'm sitting there going, I'm making a joke to you. I feel like everybody's watching. Nobody's watching.
No, but we all do it. We all just forget that we're.
So Jimmy's like, yeah, he's making he's basically wording out my joke, which is what you should do. I'm basically saying that motherfucker's the only guy could pass as normal. Not that, that's not a bad thing.
You know what? But that's what you see on the outside. Who knows what the fuck goes on inside his brain? So that's what I'm saying.
Who knows what he does?
It's the people that act the most normal you got to watch out for.
That's true. I want to see his search history. I don't trust Chris. You put in G and genital biting comes up. Oh wow, that's crazy. He's fucking nuts. So did you ever fight in tournaments or did you just?
Yeah, I did. I used to compete a lot in jiu-jitsu. I fought a few times on the underground circuit, but that was just really to see how jiu-jitsu would fare against somebody who was actually trained and actually wanted to take my head off, as opposed to just fighting some fucking bozo on the street.
How did it fare?
It did all right. I did good. I mean, I lost one, and I learned from it. It's all good, man. The kid I fought was like 13 years younger than me, and I took the fight on like fucking a week's notice.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to fight. That's all. I just wanted to fight. You can't get in fights on the street anymore, and so
Yeah.
You're comfortable in an atmosphere where violent stuff is happening. It's amazing.
Well, I'm used to it, I guess.
It's funny about jiu-jitsu because it's called the gentle art.
Yeah.
And I feel like for therapy, like I am rolling when I roll, like this guy's not letting me just. It's one thing if you're repping, but I like to roll. I just like to roll live with guys that I know aren't knuckleheads. At this point. You get where you're getting an arm to the position. Now the guy's not letting you. You're rolling. You tap hands. You go. You start rolling. The guy's not letting me get him arm in an arm lock. He's not letting me get his arm about the shoulder, about to break. He's not letting me get him about to choke him to. He's about to go unconscious where he has to tap out. But he's fighting me the whole way. And jiu-jitsu, they're fighting you the whole way. Where it's the closest thing. I know there's no striking, but you're taking an unwilling partner here he's skilled. He knows what to watch out for, and you're still getting that limb, and you could break it off. Like sometimes I get done rolling, and I'm like, man, how many submissions did I get today? I don't even know. Oh, I got that. I got this. So it becomes second nature where, you get attacked. It's muscle memory, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're taking limbs.
But to be fair, though,
I always get passionate. I love jiu-jitsu so much.
To be fair, though, when you fight professionally, like you've been doing for fucking ever,
yes,
it's not the same thing as getting attacked. And trust me, because like last time I got in a real fight, I got jumped by like 7 dudes.
Oh no, of course.
So it's like
Why'd they jump you?
Some bunch of fucking punk ass motherfucking gangbangers and just some old bullshit. It was some old bullshit that wound up resurfacing.
Coming back, okay.
But my point is jiu-jitsu is the closest thing to fighting that you can do for fun and have fun doing it without and tap and shake hands and it's all good, But and that's why it was such a perfect thing for me to get into because it was as I was getting out of my. I wasn't really getting in street fights anymore. I was starting to, I was chilling out a little bit, So it was a good replacement for that, a place for me to put that energy.
Of course.
And plus, also, I just fucking got off drugs and shit, so I needed something to do. Yeah. I needed a support system of people that would push me in a positive way, and just the sweating and the fighting and the camaraderie and that the strength of the people at that place. It saved my life. It saved my fucking life. Renzo Gracie, God bless him, the motherfucker saved my life.
You and me both.
Yeah.
That gave you a good thing to do. Now that you're not doing drugs, you weren't just sitting around. You had this place to go.
I couldn't have just been sitting around. It's not my nature. I would have been out looking for drugs, or I would have been out getting in fights, or I would have been. But this only was when I was not playing music. You got to understand. I'm an artist. I'm a musician, and I'm an artist. It's only when I have nothing going on that I would start falling into negative shit.
Going to the dark side.
Yeah. People who are really creative, if you don't have some place to put that energy, they very often turn self-destructive. I
don't have that problem. I'm not that creative.
No, you are creative. It's jiu-jitsu creative,
But it's funny, like when you talk about that with the jiu-jitsu for the street, when you say multiple attackers and stuff like that, guys who are looking into a martial art, they say, well, I'd rather just stay on my feet, and I'd rather do this because that way I don't want to be on the ground if there's 7 guys.
All fights go to the ground.
Of course, but the point is this. If you're in a situation where you're getting attacked and there's there's more than one guy, if you don't know what to do on the floor and one guy's able to hold you down, what the fuck you think's going to happen to you? A win, the way you look at a situation like that, if I'm getting attacked by 6 guys and I know I can fuck some people up, it's one thing if they're kids and I can smack a couple and hurt one and they can run off. But I'm getting attacked by 6 legitimate dudes. If I can get away...
No, getting away is
a win.
Is what you have to do.
Because you're not. It's just not realistic. It's not Liam Nielsen shit.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't give a fuck how bad any martial art you know.
Exactly.
They can say, "Oh, I'm teaching 6 men." Suck a dick, motherfucker. 6 motherfuckers who know how to fight coming after you. You're gonna get fucked up. I don't give a fuck. Especially if somebody pulls out a knife or some shit.
Man.
We're talking about real life.
Yeah.
Okay. Real life is some shit that you can't predict what the fuck is gonna happen.
100%.
You know, when I got my last fight, I got stabbed. I got 40 stitches. I didn't even fucking know I got stabbed.
Where'd you get stabbed?
In my leg. I was on my back doing up kicks, and I don't even know when I didn't even know I got stabbed until the shit was over, and I was handcuffed, and I'm like, oh shit, I got all kinds of tendons hanging out of my leg. What the fuck is that? You know. But to be fair, I did, bite a chunk out of one guy's face, and I sliced a couple of them too. You know, what are you gonna do? You know, if you get jumped, you gotta defend yourself. But hey, shit.
Did you bite the guy's crotch? I read that story.
No, I actually bit his face.
Face.
They
Okay.
said that they said somebody got sliced or poked in the crotch or some shit. I don't know.
Bit his face. Where on the face? The nose, the cheek.
The cheek. I bit him like an apple. I took a nice big fucking chunk out.
Oh,
I figured let this motherfucker remember me every time he has to shave.
Every time you shave, you think of that.
Oh yeah.
But it was actually a good time. You know, I haven't had a fight in a while.
Yeah, the street's a total different thing, man.
Yeah, man.
If anybody wants, I tell my students, you guys want to test, you want to see how this works, jump into a grappling tournament, you do a kickboxing tournament if that's what you want to do. Get an MMA fight eventually.
Yeah.
That's how you test yourself. I wish that was around when I was younger.
Oh, dude,
that would have saved me.
Yeah, it would have saved me
and
a lot
saved
of
some other
troubles,
people some beatings too.
Yeah, big time, dude. You know, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to fucking, I'm not even gonna get into it. I was a fucking maniac, man. I grew up on the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
I was like one of the only white boys in my fucking area.
Yeah.
I fought a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I did a lot of wrong shit. And I'm just glad that I made it through that tunnel to the other side.
And you're making it up for it now. You're
Yeah,
doing a
man.
lot of right shit now.
That's right, man.
I'm proud of you, buddy. For a guy that knows you so long, I'm so happy to see that. I see you just now with your kids and everything else. That makes me happy.
Dude, I'm loving life, man. I'm fucking loving life, man. You know, I married an amazing woman. I got 2 fucking great kids that are healthy, strong, and I still got, some of my wits about me, man.
Yeah.
Life is fucking good, man.
Life is good. It's only going to get better.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Especially when Michael Bisping calls in. Do you know
We got to talk to Michael Bisping.
He's calling in?
Yes. Oh,
Get the fuck out of here. How cool is that?
We'll ask him if he knows about the hardcore
He
scene.
don't know about us. Shit.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah, you know
You
what?
get surprised, man.
Hey, you never fucking know.
You're listening to UFC Unfiltered with Jim Norton and Matt Serra.
Matt and I were talking the other day, and Matt said to me, he said, Jim, picture a world where putting on a new pair of underwear isn't just fresh. You're stepping into a better day. I said, Matt, what do you mean?
This is true. Listen to this. This is important.
I can do a read.
Listen to this. Did you ever hear of, now, Harley, you know me. How long do you know me now? Literally.
20 years?
Okay. Did you know I go commando?
I can respect that.
Okay, now look,
that's-
that was. Now, can you listen to what Jimmy has to say? Go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, Matt's a big underwear guy now. He never was before. I don't know that he was commando,
I can't say I know either, but
All right, I wouldn't expect you to.
But Matt said to me one time, he goes, Jim, underwear is the first thing you put on. And I said, yeah, I know. He goes, it's also the last thing you take off. And then he said, why would you settle for anything less than the best feeling underwear on the planet? I'm like, Matt, you don't even wear underwear. He goes, but I do now. MeUndies focuses solely on producing the most comfortable underwear you've ever experienced. And look, we all tap dance for products, but I got to be honest, I wear these things. Matt wears these things. My friends at MeUndies, they sent us a bunch of pairs a while back, and I honestly cannot imagine wearing anything else. They make me feel comfortable, smooth. They make your package look great.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. They really do. My package looks amazing. Like, I'm going to get sued for false advertising because it's so unimpressive in person. Try them on. If they're not the most comfortable, best feeling underwear you've ever had, they're going to refund them and let you keep your first pair for free. So you basically lose nothing. All you gain is a nice pair of underwear on your balls and ass cheeks. That's just me. They didn't write that in the copy. Included in the price is the sweet touch of Modal, a special fabric made from the best in-class raw materials that are scientifically proven to be 3 times softer than cotton. I'd never heard of Modal either. Harley never heard of it. I'd never heard of it. And I'm like, what is this stuff? And I put it on there like it's 3 times softer than cotton. I'm like, oh, bullshit. And then I wore it, and I can't stop touching my ass cheeks. It's phenomenal.
Dude, my hands are living down my pants.
They certainly are.
I gotta
Ever
give me
since
some of me undies. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, see?
Yo, write these motherfuckers. Tell them
Nice.
I need an endorsement. I need a fucking Harley Flanagan, hardcore, Cro-Mag needs some me undies, motherfuckers.
That's right.
There you go.
You know?
That would be a good-
Henry motherfucker Rollins is rocking Calvins. What's up with me? I need some me undies, man.
They thought I had a potty mouth.
Well, that's okay. He's right, though. Look, this is the guy that you want to enjoy your product. Why not?
That's right. You don't want the quiet guy.
No,
Look,
man.
they're uber cozy. I hate the word uber, but I'll say it because they want me to say it. They're sold exclusively on the MeUndies website, where you're going to enjoy free standard shipping in the U.S. and Canada. For a limited time, everyone in this audience gets 20% off their first order, but you got to go to our special URL, MeUndies.com/UFC. With the MeUndies Better Day Guarantee, you have nothing to lose. So don't wait any longer. You're doing nothing right now but listening to us blather on. Just go to the computer while you're listening, MeUndies.com/UFC. Right now, 20% off your first order. That's MeUndies.com/UFC. We're not just saying it. We really do wear them. They're phenomenal.
I love me undies.
Me too.
Great, man.
Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans proudly supports UFC Unfiltered. When it comes to the big decision of choosing a mortgage lender, it's important to work with someone you can trust who has your best interest in mind. And with Rocket Mortgage, you'll get a transparent online process that gives you the confidence to make an informed decision. Don't waste time searching through stacks of paperwork. With Rocket Mortgage, you can securely share your financial info to get mortgage approval in minutes. You can even adjust the rate and length of your loan in real time to make sure you get the mortgage solution that's right for you. Whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance your existing mortgage, you can lift the burden of getting a home loan with Rocket Mortgage. Skip the bank, skip the waiting, and go completely online at quickenloans.com/unfiltered. That's QUICKEN loans.com/unfiltered. An equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030. Michael?
Yes.
Hey, buddy, you're talking to Jim Norton and Matt Serra and Harley Flanagan.
Hey.
How you doing?
What's up, champ?
How are you?
Good. You sound good. You sound very energized today.
Oh, yeah, I've had 2 coffees. Hold on. Dito, out. Let me get my dog.
Okay.
He walks around and, you know, you hear his nails on the wood and shit. What's going on, guys?
What's his name? Tito, your dog?
No, Dito.
Oh, Dito. Okay.
Everybody says that. They say, you called your dog fucking Tito Ortiz? No, I didn't.
You know why?
It was a name on his papers when we got him, but it's a stupid name.
That is hysterical. My buddy Patrick Cote, when I first met him, his dog was named Tito, or after Tito Ortiz, and the guy ended up fighting him too. So that's fucking funny.
Yeah. Well, he's French, so you know they're not too clever.
We got to start with
Right off the bat. I might be one of the rare dudes. I mean, not rare dudes because I know he has fans, but I fucking love Michael Bisping.
I love Michael.
I'm a big fan, champ.
What do you mean you might be one of the rare Michael Bisping? I have legions of fans.
Of course you do.
Legions.
And you got like an equal amount of haters, but I'm not one of them. I like, dude, you always speak your mind. You never shy away from a beef if anybody's got a problem. I like you.
Yeah, you seem you're comfortable calling people out.
At the end of the day, we're cage fighters, for crying out loud. You can dress it up however you fucking want. Oh, I'm a martial artist. No, you're not. You're a fucking cage fighter. You step in there, you fight people for money. So if I give my opinion, that should be the least of their worries.
You, what did you think? I thought of you immediately after the Silva Brunson fight. I thought Brunson won. What did you think of that fight?
Yeah, I thought Brunson won the fight. Oh, I guess I could kind of make a weird argument for Silva winning rounds 1 and 2. But my overall takeaway from the fight was that, you know, Anderson Silva could have won the fight at any moment. He certainly seemed like the better fighter. He was successful for the most part in stopping the takedowns. When he did let his hands go or his feet go and do something, Brunson was kind of scared and was, you know, kind of running away from him. Anderson was a better fighter, but he clowns around all the time. He clowned the fans. He clowned the public. He clowned his opponent. And ultimately, he clowns himself because he's just losing fans these days.
Yeah, he said he wants a rematch with you, and that he thought he won the fight with you. And I guess, look, when you win, you have to say something. But
Sure.
How do you feel about him calling you out like that? And is there a shot at you having a rematch with him?
Yeah, I mean, listen, of course he's going to say that. At the end of the day, we went to a decision, and my face looked worse than his. So, he's going to say whatever makes him sleep at night, whatever makes him feel better. Will there be a rematch? I'll tell you this. I saw that Dana said if Anderson was to beat Brunson, then he'd get a title shot. And I thought, great, because that would do big business. But not after that performance. After that performance, I don't think people are going to pay $60 to watch him fight. I really don't. So I guess even though he won the fight, I don't see people clamoring to see Anderson Silva fight for the title again.
Now, there's been some back and forth between you and Romero. Did he actually call on your radio show and set up a GoFundMe page for your medical expenses?
Yeah, no, he did. He did. I guess God bless him. These morons that I have around him. Just thought that was funny. He's been on a tirade of abuse lately, and as I said, God bless him. You're going to do what you can do to get fights and get noticed in this game. He set up a GoFundMe page. I guess that was kind of cute, but I will take that money. I've said this. Thank you. I think there's like $220 in that GoFundMe. so the joke's on you, dickhead. That money. I'm going to go to a nice spa. I'm going to get a good massage, maybe a glass of champagne, and that's all on Yoel Romero. So thank you very much.
You're going to go?
I was just going to say, so you haven't made a decision, or it hasn't been determined? Because I don't feel like you're ducking him. People are saying that you're ducking Yoel Romero, but you don't seem to me like you're ducking him at all. It seems to me like you're waiting to see which is going to be the biggest payday for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've never ducked anybody. And certainly now that I've got the belt, you can't do that. Of course, now when you're in that position, you do want to try and make smart business choices, but you've got to find the best guys. After I won the belt off Luke Rockhold, the UFC called me a couple of days later and offered me Dan Henderson, and I know that ruffled a few feathers in the middleweight division. And now, people want more than ever for me to face the number one contender. So great. I mean, I've got no problem doing that. I want to do that. I don't want my legacy to be somebody that avoided the best guys. Far from it. I fought the best guys my entire career. Why am I going to stop doing that when I become the champion? That doesn't make sense. But also at the same time, I want to capitalize on this position that I'm in. So we'll see. I haven't been offered anything official from the UFC, but if they offer Yoel Romero, then fuck it. I'm all for it. I would love to punch that guy in the face. I recognize that he's a tough individual. He's got great wrestling. He's a physical specimen. He's explosive. But I also see a guy that's very beatable. Chris Weidman was doing a great job in that first round. Yes. And if he carried on doing that, he would have won that fight. He just made a couple of mistakes and, walked onto a flying knee. But when I look at Romero, I see a guy that's beatable for sure.
Now, we're going to get back to the fighting in a second, but how exciting was it, and did you enjoy the process of the whole movie-making thing with the, what is it, Triple X?
Yeah, Triple X.
How was that?
No, it was awesome. Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've been chipping away at the acting thing for a little bit now, and, I've done lots of straight-to-DVD shit that no one's ever going to watch. But being a part of Triple X was, it was just a great experience. Obviously, the cast was amazing, but every day the stuff we were doing, the fight scenes, the explosives, the weapons training, all that stuff. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I would pay to go and do. So just being a part of it was awesome. The movie's done fantastic. I think internationally, it was the number one movie, box office wise, internationally. So it's doing great, and being a part of that was awesome.
Congrats on that. But you know what I loved? I don't know if I want to see who's seen this. It was you did this with I might have told you this before, on your show. That what was it? The clip you did with Renato? From Snatch, right?
Yeah.
What was that? That was that was fucking great. That was so good.
Yeah. No, that was Renato Laranja. I mean, he's a funny guy.
Funny,
so he came to me with that idea, and I was like, yeah, of course. I mean, who doesn't love Snatch? And of course, Renato Laranja is, he's a funny dude. So that was cool.
So much fun. Jimmy, you ever see Snatch?
I did not.
You
No.
did not see Snatch?
I know.
You
not
love
at all.
Snatch.
I do.
That has nothing to do with it.
I'm a big fan. I rented the wrong film.
Different Snatch.
Hey, we would also be we'd be silly geese if we didn't ask you about GSP. It's been announced that he's back with the UFC, and people are talking about him and you fighting. So I guess he wants to go up in weight. How do you feel about your first fight, his first fight, possibly being you?
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, as I said, if they offer me the number one contender, I'll take the number one contender. If they offer me GSP, listen, I'd be a fool not to take GSP. So, of course, I'd take GSP. If they were to offer that fight, which, as I said, there's been no word of that yet. I hope they do, but, whether it's Joel or GSP, who cares? GSP coming back after 3 years. I think it's a tough fight for GSP, if I'm honest. Everybody knows, well, fighters know, that when the hardest part of fighting, of course, is very, very physical, but the hardest part is the mental aspect, the self-doubt, the inner demons. And GSP kind of had a tough fight against Johnny Hendricks last time out, and I think spending 3 years away, coming back, stepping up a weight class, and fighting me, I think that's a bad idea for George St. Pierre. If he wants to do it, God bless. But I see that fight ending for me pretty well. I mean, everybody knows George is going to look for the takedown on the ground and pound. I'm the bigger guy. I've got pretty good takedown defense. If he took me down, I get straight back up. And on the feet, I see it as one-way street. I'm by far the bigger boxer. I'm the bigger, taller, longer guy, and just better skilled on the feet anyway. So if George wants to do that, God bless him, and I admire his courage. But I think, the fight hasn't even been offered yet. But if it is offered, put your money on me.
Sure.
He does. I'll tell you, Mike, you don't get enough credit for that. You have a very good takedown defense, but I don't remember anybody holding you down. You're hard to hold down. You have very good hips. How often are you working off your... I know you work everything. Everybody works everything, and you're the champ, but how often are you working off your back straight up jiu-jitsu? Because I'm telling you, it's underrated. You're hard to hold down.
Hold on 1 second. This dog
Fucking
Harry.
Dino.
He's fucking whining away. Harry!
It was a great question I asked you. I don't even think I remember
it was a great question. All I hear in the background is...
And I'm giving you a compliment.
I was just saying, obviously I'm English, and we don't have a wrestling program. We don't do it at school or anything like that. So we're always going to be at a disadvantage wrestling-wise. And I kind of recognize that from an early period in my MMA career. And what I would do was, whenever I would start my sparring, I'd always start off my back. So I always had to fight back to my feet to be able to use my striking. And I used to drill that all the time. When I drill off my back all the time, I drill the way I get back to my feet all the time. In fact, it's very, very simple to get back to your feet. I mean, when you've done it as many times as I have, it's so easy. Getting back to your feet is easy. And I watch fights and I think, Jesus Christ, just get back to your feet. Come on. There's some pretty basic steps you just follow and you get back to your feet pretty easy. Jiu-jitsu wise, I mean, I would like to be doing jiu-jitsu more. And that is my what shall we say? What do you say? My New Year's resolution. I'm going to do more jiu-jitsu this year. Right now, I'm recovering from knee surgery. I had a knee surgery a few weeks ago, so I'm limping around the house at the moment. But as soon as I can, I'll be back in there. I'll be working my jiu-jitsu, working my wrestling, working everything, But, I like to roll. It's fun.
And Mike, and you mentioned GSP possibly going up in weight if you two fought. Did you see how great Hendricks looked against Hector Lombard first fight at middleweight? I mean, that might actually help GSP.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm a fan of Johnny Hendricks. Who doesn't like Johnny Hendricks? And I detest Hector Lombard because he's a little shit. So it was nice to see Johnny Hendricks beat Hector Lombard. And yeah, I thought Johnny looked better. He utilized some good footwork, and this is two smaller guys. And listen, let's be honest. Johnny Hendricks versus Hector Lombard was two welterweights fighting at middleweight. It was like Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor fighting at welterweight. It was the same thing because they're both welterweights. Let's be honest. Johnny won. I thought he did a good job. Hector's a dangerous opponent, and I was just happy to see Johnny Hendricks get a win.
And I have to ask you, of course. Now, what is it about Hector Lombard you don't like? I've never heard this.
No, listen, Hector Lombard's a piece of shit. What can I say? I mean, you just take one look at this guy and you know that he's a scumbag. And several times over the years, my interactions with him, we've nearly had multiple fights when I fought Luke Rockhold at UFC 199, when I knocked Luke Rockhold out in the first round, and Hector Lombard got knocked out against Dan Henderson, that fight, in the lobby after the weigh-in, I nearly got into a fight with Hector Lombard. He's walking past, and I say something, and I say something like, he made a remark, and I said something joking, and he turns around, he's coming at me, and he's calling him and having to hold him back and this and that. And I'm saying, look at you. You're pathetic. I said, you're going to fight tomorrow. You're trying to fight me in the lobby. Get a grip. Without the cage, man, go rock the brains. I don't care for that guy.
No, wait, hold on. Now, listen. I know you said, you said a little something.
Yeah,
Wait, come on now, Mike. Listen, champ. What
did you say?
Come on. What did you say?
No, I was walking by. And as I say, several times we've had interactions. And as I walked past, he looked at me, I looked at him, and I went, this guy. And that's all I said. I said, this guy. And then he kind of stopped, and he turned around and said, what do you mean, this guy? And I'm like, this guy. And anyway, there you go. So it was me. Basically, I started it, annoying self that I am.
So you were just being a little annoying, and he actually wanted to fight over it.
This guy.
I was mocking him.
You were just fucking with him, and you must have seen Jacare looked really, really good against Tim Bosch. I mean, you're at the head of a very, very brutal division, man. There's nobody easy in that division.
But the division's getting easier. Jacare, if you look at him, he used to have boulders for shoulders, and now he's got like some little. He's looking like a skinny, frail old man in there. He fought Tim Bosch, and okay. He got a submission inside the first round, and it was a very nice submission. The setup was nice. Boach went to scoot back to his feet, and he took hold of the wrist and, snapped on a nice Kimura. Fair play, well done. On the feet, he looked terrible. He was so robotic, so stiff. And as I say, he's the incredible shrinking man. He's getting smaller and smaller, as is Yoel Romero. So that's what I'm saying. This division is just getting easier and easier. The more time passes, the more times the steroids are out of the system, the easier these opponents are going to be. But listen, Jacare's right there as well. He's another guy. I would love to fight Jacare. I would love to fight Yoel Romero simply because, they deserve it. I guess, in a roundabout way, they do deserve it. And I'd like to test myself against them.
I find it refreshing that he wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Everybody gives a normal, I respect this one, but yada, yada. He just, that guy's a cunt.
Yeah.
He's like, that's what I like.
Nobody will ever say, what do you think Michael meant by that?
Look at that court. I never called Jacare a cunt.
No, of course. No, you didn't call him a cunt. I don't even know if you said cunt. Did I say cunt?
Yeah.
All right. You know what's so awesome? I see you on Instagram with your boy, and I remember when you had him in the cage in England or Manchester. I forgot where you were, but you were so, and you were having him in the cage with you, and he was up to your waist, and now you're up to his shoulders. That's you got a big boy now. He's all grown up. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, he's doing amazing. He's wrestling. He's doing jiu-jitsu. He wrestled at 195 this past weekend. Of course, I fight at 185, and he did really, really well. So he's growing up fast.
Yeah, man. Soon you're gonna be telling him to put out the garbage, man. That'll be you'll be getting ready for your fights, right?
I've tried. These new millennials are lazy fucks. What can I say? I tell him, I say, take out the garbage, do this, do that. He says, Dad, you don't do anything in this house. So yeah.
That's great.
All right. Well, before we let you go, Michael, how long are you going to be laid up for? When are you going to be able to get back into to training?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm my own worst enemy at times because a week after having the surgery, I was actually sparring with Kendall Grove. Kendall Grove was staying at my house because he had a fight coming up, and I wanted to help, but of course I get bored. So it was like 8-9 days after the surgery, I went in and did some boxing sparring, and then the next day it was, my knee was killing. So I rested for a few days, and then I went and did some bag work, and then the next day it was killing. So I've been taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And just a second ago, my doctor sent me a text message. I've got to go and see him today. So I guess I'm just going to rest and stay off it completely because I'm going out of my mind now. It's been 3.5 weeks, and I'm just sitting in my ass, just sitting in my house, getting fat, eating crappy foods because I'm bored. So so maybe a couple more weeks, and I'll be able to start proper training. But the pain is still there. It's still kind of painful. But early summer, to answer your question, I'll be back in there for sure.
All right, well, we're looking forward to seeing you, whoever you fight, whether it's GSP, Yoel Romero, the winner of Weidman Musasi, whoever it is that you fight. I'm looking forward to seeing
We'll
you.
be watching for sure.
Hey, Matt, real fast.
Yeah.
What's going on with Weidman? Why is he fighting Musasi?
Why? I don't. Listen, the guy called him out, man. Weidman's cut from that same cloth. He's like, you mentioned my name, you better fucking show up. Weidman's,
Fair enough. You gotta respect that. Fair enough.
yeah, man. The guy, he mentioned his name.
Sure.
He mentioned he was ducking him, and Weidman got wind of that and said, "Yo, man, fuck that."
That's the difference.
He wouldn't
Yeah.
say it like me, like that, because he's such a respectful guy.
No,
But I'll
no,
say
sure.
for
No.
it.
But
Yeah.
I-
Say it
I
for
respect
him.
that. No, good for Chris. I've always been a fan of Chris. I know he can't stand my guts these days.
Yeah.
All the best from me.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, Masasi is definitely a quality guy, and take this guy out, he's right back in the mix. So,
So you know what
thanks.
I do?
What's
Someone
up?
calls me out, I just pretend I didn't hear it. And I just
I lost you again, but I'm back. I can't remember what you said, but I'm assuming you were wrapping up the interview and saying, "Let's lose this. Let's get rid of this Brit."
No, we love you, man. We have to wrap up, but anytime you want to come on,
Yeah.
you're one of my favorite people to have on. You're so honest. and
Ah.
It's so refreshing.
All right, cool. Well, I can think of nothing better to do on a Monday morning.
All right. Well, heal up, and we look forward to seeing you fight again, man. And I look forward to seeing you in person.
Got it, guys. Take care.
All right, take care, Michael.
Later, man.
All right, Mike.
Middleweight champion Michael Bisping. Really entertaining guy.
Listen, man, that is listen. Give me that. Than the same old boring, just the right people that try to give the right answer.
Like
Holy
Derek Lewis,
shit,
all he
dude.
does is the right answer. Holy shit. I fucking love Derek Lewis.
That I give me that. You don't have to agree with it, but it's refreshing in a world today being so PC and being so whatever. Speak your mind, people.
Let's cover what Derek Lewis said at the end of the fight. He won. He knocked Travis Brown out. It was a pretty brutal knockout. And before we get to the fight, he's standing there in the post fight interview with Brian Stan.
Yes.
And he asked him about holding his stomach, and I think he said, "I got to make it number 2." He stood in the ring and basically said, "I have to shit." And I got to take some time off. I've been getting so much sex lately. He's the best. He's just every time he opens his mouth, I want to hug him. He's the fucking greatest. But that's a post-fight interview. I've never actually been juiced about a post-fight interview, except for Diaz. I'm not surprised, motherfucker. That was probably the greatest
that
quote.
was good.
Okay,
That was classic.
But how awesome was that fight? I told Harley before we started today. I saw Lewis grabbed his stomach, and it reminded me of and you gave me the name Randleman when Crow Cop kicked him in the stomach or the chest. He grabbed his stomach and he fell back. That's the only time I've ever seen a fighter do that, where you grab your stomach. And he actually turned away from Travis Brown and kind of retreated back to the cage. And you think it might have been a broken...
I don't know. I'm saying maybe he cracked a rib or some shit. You know.
What did you think that was?
Well, he's hurt other people with that front kick.
Oh, it's
I
brutal.
got to watch some of this. I forgot who he hurt exactly with that. But he's used that before.
Yeah.
And he's good with that. And he was looking for... I don't want to say because look, Derek was on here with us too. He was on the show, and he was definitely a nice guy. And the same thing, he's an entertaining interview.
Yeah.
But Travis, I kind of felt for him where he had a great first round, phenomenal first round. Even at the end of it, he kind of grilled him at the end of it. He was so in that fight. He looked mentally ready.
He was fast. He was staying away from him with kickings.
And then he got caught. Now, you could never say, why would a guy do that? Because you don't know where his head's at. You don't know if his brains are scrambled at that point. He's trying to get his wits. So when he got hit, I forgot what it was because there was a barrage. But he started to get away, and then he stood. Like with boxing gloves, you can get away with a little bit more covering up. But you can't just cover up against the cage. And now look, I don't want to get on the guy. I'm not attacking him because who knows if he might have been more hurt than you even know right there. But like Ray would if you can't tie a guy up, and this dude's a hard guy to tie up, you got to get on the bicycle. You got to just get on your feet and do that footwork. I remember getting ready for these fights. Longo would be like, all right, on your footwork, one way. Every time that bell rings, 30 seconds the other way, and you just get used to it'll buy you some time to get your
head back, right?
Yeah, get your wits amongst
Do you think? I think it was either Brian Stan or the guy announcing him said that he might be trying to get him to punch himself out, but it was like he's hitting him too hard,
No,
and he's
you can't do
drilling
that.
his own arms into his head. There's no way he's trying to get him to punch himself. I think he was just stunned. He got rocked.
You got a guy 262 and throwing like one. It could go through. It could hit on the arms, and it'll still get through with these little gloves. And you can't cover up like that.
When did Lewis wind up on top of him? Was that in the first round? Lewis wound up on top of him at one point, and he didn't do much damage. He dropped a couple elbows.
Second.
Oh, was it in the second?
I think it was the second round.
It was the second round. Okay.
And it pained me to see some of the stuff on the floor that you see how Michael was saying before that he sees ways to get up, and he's watching. Michael Bisping was on the phone saying how he sees ways to get up, and it's right there. I seen him with that underhook, and even at my heaviest, when I get a guy on top of me, sometimes I'll be in a full guard, and I'll have my underhooks, like you see, and I'll let one side drop, so a guy goes to half guard, and he makes it hard for me to get to his back, but I can always get up from there with one underhook. When you have an underhook on the floor, and you've been and you know how to use it, you could if you don't get to the guy's back, you at least could get up to your knees and your feet. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you go for the back the correct way. He had an underhook. He got up. He did get out, but he got out kind of square with him, and it was taxing with a guy that size. If you're going and you're scooting your butt, if I have an underhook and I'm scooting my butt out and below his knee towards his butt, it's gonna be hard for that guy to follow you. And if not, if the guy's got there's ways to pull his ankle out and pelvis forward and get that leg that's trapped between his legs out. Stuff that, again, this is stuff that I see and I'm like, oh, if you only knew that, that's a game changer, man. You know. So again, listen, hindsight's always 20/20. But I'd love to show him that. You know, and Mario Yamasaki was my first ref. I know the guy forever. I mean, the guy was my ref in my very first UFC fight. He ref plenty of my fights. He's a very good ref. It's the hardest job there is, being a ref. And now, at the very end of that fight, Jimmy, you a little too slow.
Without a doubt, too slow.
Maybe one, maybe two. See, one punch when you're already not defending yourself with a guy that size. That could shorten your career. That could shorten your life.
Yeah.
Like a guy that size. I mean, so he's right there, and you want to give the guy every second.
Yeah, it's so hard.
But when you see the guy, I mean, I don't know.
It was a terrible stoppage. But and on the flip side, there
Two
was
bad shots in there, man.
The Marshman stoppage. Marshman thought was too early. He got taken out by that spinning kick. It was against Thiago Santos. And
I believe that was too early also.
He felt it was too early.
I feel it was also because the guy always had his wits. He hit the floor. It was dynamic. And the guy jumped on, and Thiago jumped on top of him, maybe landed a punch, but he never stopped moving. He never stopped moving, and the ref jumped in. He was talking to him. And so that was,
a little premature, maybe.
Marshman?
Marshman, yeah.
Marshman had his moments in the fight. That first round, holy shit, man. He had Thiago seeing some birds around his head. He was in, again, that's why we watch the sport. It's so entertaining. I mean, it can go one way, just like with Travis. That's two guys that won a first round, and then the second round, it's over, man. You know? But I agree, that was a little premature.
And did you see Gavin Tucker made his, I think he was 8-0, and now he's 9-0, his UFC debut against Sam Cecilia, who pretty much said that he was going to put him on the ground and tap him in the first round.
He did say
and
that.
literally at one point, it was a 30-3 significant strike advantage for Gavin Tucker. He was awesome. Third round, he started to get caught a little bit. It was almost like he got a little too comfortable, and he I think was trying to enjoy the moment a little too much. And he's lucky he didn't get put out, but that was a dominating performance.
I enjoyed that fight, and I thought that this Gavin Tucker, man, I'll tell you right now, for a debut, and he's fighting a tough guy with Sam Cecilia.
Yeah,
that guy has put guys to sleep with his hands before.
Well, they said his opponents had like a record of like 39-46 or some losing record, and the guys he had fought in Halifax. I think he was a Halifax guy.
Look, well, I mean, that's the thing. So maybe you're thinking, all right, this is a major. A big jump in levels, you know.
Right.
That's what people might be afraid of. But I'll tell you right now, this guy, this Gavin Tucker, well-rounded, just landing from leg kicks to combinations. I mean, the guy was all over the place.
Everything,
footwork,
everything.
It hit the floor one time, and he did a beautiful takedown, and he went right away for a leg lock. Which, I mean, again, I have mixed feelings about that. It was beautiful the way he set it up, but you're going versus a very explosive guy.
That's why he got the fuck out of there quickly.
I don't know if the guy got out. It looked awesome, but the guy got away.
Yeah.
If you would have secured your position more, you could and played more of a positional game. It's almost like diving for an arm lock. You get it, great. If you lose it, now you lost the guy. So when you go for those leg locks, it's one thing in submission grappling when, all right, now we're agreeing to grapple. In MMA, you don't have to agree to grapple. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, guy gets out of a leg lock. All right, he goes back in submission grappling. Harley, it's the latest craze of the leg locks. Get close, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, that's the thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Is
and it's not,
grappling.
and I'm not hating on it. One of my guys, Jason Rao, he's taking legs like nobody's business. He's in the city a lot now, working with Danner and
I see those. Guys all the time.
Man. But and I'm not hating it because it's beautiful. They're taking those leg locks to another level. But it's great when you're on bottom because you're already on bottom. I went for number one way, me on bottom in the UFC, getting on top, I'd attack the legs. Jeff Curran, Shoney Carter, Yves Edwards. I use this all on the cage, and I get out clean. I never got fucked up because they'd be worried about me taking that leg off. They give me enough space. I'm getting on top, or I'm getting up.
Well, he got up though when he realized he didn't have it. He got up and got out of there. He didn't stay on the ground.
The difference is he went for it when he was on top. He could have stayed on top. He could have fucked him up. He could have got position. If I could have ended, round could have ended with him on top. He went for that chance. And listen, you get it. You're a fucking hero. It's great. But you lose it, which most likely you're gonna try to lay down with a leg. At that higher level, and your adrenaline, you're in a cage, man. You getting the fuck out of there. So he lost the leg, but I'm not knocking the guy. The guy, I like the fact that he went for something, and the guy showed a real good skill set, and it was nice. You sensed that he enjoyed every moment of it, like you were saying, Jimmy. And
too much in the third round.
Yeah,
too much.
Exactly. But because he might have, and not for nothing, to give Sam Cecilia and his credit to his corner.
Yeah,
they weren't bullshitting. They were basically saying, "Dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, you gotta."
They go, now's the time. Yeah, basically, yeah. I'm not word for word, but they let him know the urgency that he needed.
Yeah, you're losing.
Round. Fuck yeah, that's what you want to say, man. You can't. I see some guys, and I'm watching some fights, and I know a guy's down, and everybody has to know the guy's down. It's coming to the third round. The guy in the corner's like, "Okay, I want you to slip the jab, and I want you to keep." No, you know what now? You know what he needs now? He needs to kick in his fucking ass and say, "Look, man, you got 5 minutes.
You better do
this. You got 5 minutes."
Put it all out there.
I wish all guys were like Al Iaquinta in the third round. Fucking listen, out of my stable, man, I have some killers. Fucking Al Iaquinta's got that. I mean, he fought Jorge Masvidal and he got the W over him, which some people said it should have went the other way, but it came down to that third round, where Masvidal's so talented. And he kind of in that second round took his foot off the gas. And I remember Ray Longo saying to me, "He let you back in this motherfucker. He let you back in this fight. So he let you back in, And then fucking we gave Al a fucking quick Braveheart speech in there, like fucking 5 minutes, dude. 5 minutes. I go, I need you to get zero fucks out there, and he did. He went after this dude.
Wasn't that something they had said about Masvidal though? A lot of times he pulls his feet off the gas a little bit more than he should.
Hopefully he learned his lesson with that because that Cowboy fight was his shining moment. I mean, he says that there's a lot of other moments in his career that are bigger, but for the exposure and everything, and the way he did that, and the streak that Cerrone's been on. Nothing comes to mind for me with how fucking...
Another one I called wrong, by the way. I really suck a pile of dicks at picking fights. I'm shit. If I ever pick you in a fight, just don't have that fight. I'm terrible, dude. Dude, I'm terrible.
Walk out.
I'm the fucking worst. Heartbreaking moment for me. I'm such a sap. I watched that Sarah McMahon fought Gina Mazzani.
Oh, my God.
And she took the fight at 2.5 weeks' notice. I think it was her UFC debut. And, she was 4-0, I think.
Oh, she took it on short notice.
It's 2.5 weeks. And she was submitted or choked like literally I want to say a minute and 14 in, and then she stood up and she started crying. And I was like, oh, that's exactly what would happen to me. I would lose and I would cry. That would watching my life.
It's so emotional, man.
I felt really bad for her.
You
though.
want your moment in there, and when you feel you get to show absolutely nothing. Is what she's shown, and that's I'm not attacking her. I give her credit. I give anybody credit for getting in there, and she. I was about to say she manned up. I don't know if it's the right word. She womaned up. She womaned up and stood it. No, but she did. She went in there and listen. Those short notice fights, they're rough. And a short notice fight versus somebody like Sarah McMahon is. I mean, she's freaking tough, man. Yeah. And she's looking the best she ever looked. I mean, that was a one way fight.
Yeah,
that was just a show off to stand up a little bit. Now let me show you my wrestling. And now I'm putting out.
It's one thing to listen to you talk about fights because you've done it. You know? But it's like so many fucking fans, you listen to them debating and talking all this shit and this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's like, but people have no idea what it's like to get hit in the face hard and to have to deal with it and forget about that, to do it under the pressure of all those spectators.
See, that's the thing.
And people, and in your corner, and people yelling. It's like that's why I really respect pro fighters. People have no fucking idea. It's once you get like you've done it a few times. It starts to become second nature. Like me, I can walk up on stage with Slayer or Iron Maiden. I've done it. And it's like I've played CBGBs and then I've played in front of 80,000 people or whatever. And it's not a big, it's not a big mind fuck for me. But,
Yeah.
That's why I started competing, because I was like, I need that the anxiety. I need to be out of my element. I need
for
to
sure.
I want to have, and when you got people, I mean, I've only competed like in front of a few hundred people, but it's like, the pressure is on.
Well, that's what
Well, it's the possibility of humiliation.
Yes.
and that's why
That's
it's
good,
like,
Jimmy.
that well put, but not just that, the intensity, all those fucking eyes are on you.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well, that's it, man.
One of the fighters-
it's an emotional fucking dump. It's like you see people at the end, it's like, holy shit, and people don't realize the fucking lifestyle.
See, that's what
It's like training.
So the thing is this,
and
Harley.
suffering. I watch my
Yeah.
friends cutting weight and
yeah,
fucking
shit,
going
man.
through and then you got these couch fucking potatoes sitting there. He should have done. It's like, dude,
Well, the worst
have you
is-
ever fucking been punched in your face in your
Yeah.
fucking life, motherfucker?
But even some
Yeah.
guys that have been punched in their face, you can get your street tough guy. You can get your town tough
Yeah,
guy. But
yeah.
the thing is this: you get that same guy who could fight at the drop of a hat when his adrenaline gets up when somebody does something. Now you get that same guy, and I say you can. All right, now you're going to fight somebody. But you're not fighting somebody right now when you're in the heat of the moment. You're
Yeah.
fighting somebody a week from now.
Yeah.
And you're fighting in front of 50
It's a
people.
schedule. You're on.
Now you're like, let's see how tough you are.
Yeah.
The same guys, a lot of the guys aren't going to be able to pass that test.
No, it's
They'll
pressure,
fucking
man.
not only technique wise, but mentally. They're not.
That's what I'm
one of the
saying,
biggest
is
differences between
mentally.
a tough guy and that.
Yeah.
And before I forget, because we're talking about that Sarah McMahon fight, she finished with that head and arm choke, or what she was calling arm triangle. You can call it either way. She did it from mount. Now, let me tell you, and you know this, Harley, being a black belt. When you get that and you're closing the carotid arteries, okay, they call it an arm triangle or an head and arm choke, because it puts you to sleep the same way as if you're doing it with the legs. You follow me?
Yeah,
closing
you're
the carotid
using their
arteries.
arm on one
Yes.
side and your arm's on the other side.
It's usually more effective. Now I've gotten it before. It's one of my favorite ones.
love that
especially with now guys can do it with long arms. My short arms, even with 16-ounce gloves, I'd get it. I just go palm to palm, and I'd be able to get it. The thing is, it's way tighter, and it's a lot more efficient when you get a cross-side.
Yeah.
You can get
Yeah,
it from
yeah.
mount,
I-
but
I-
guys
I'd
maybe
get it
could
from
roll.
side to
It
yeah.
might, but she knows how to use that. When I seen that, I'm like, oh, now she's gonna dismount. Oh, she's not even dismounting. It was tight, dude. She's a powerhouse, man. That thing she was going to sleep. I mean, by all means, she was going to sleep. And it was a beautiful thing. When people do that the wrong way, people try to answer it. They go, "Oh, the defense is answer the phone," and they put their hand like they're covering their ear, and that's the shittiest escape. If you know how to do this thing, guys would be tapping out with the other hand because this hand would be trapped in there.
Trapped.
Oh,
you can't even move the
Oh,
motherfucker.
yeah.
You're not worried about them answering the phone when you do this?
Oh, I'd be like, ring, get it. Yeah, it might be your mama. And I'll put them right to fucking sleep. I love that. I love when they try that fucking bullshit. It's horrible because I put all my weight on it the right way. If I'm in a choker here, and usually they're cross-eyed, the nearest leg lifts up, I grab around it, straighten out, and I open up my carotid artery here. And now I got to wait this thing out. A fight, if you want to ever go to a Fight Pass and see that used, the same night I fought GSP, my good friend Pete Dragosel fought not Santos.
Alves?
No, fuck.
Silva, right?
No, maybe not even a Thiago. Who the fuck did he fight?
Matt.
No, Thiago Leites. That's right.
It's Talus later.
Talus Leites, motherfucker. I'm sorry, Talus. I knew it was something with a T and a Leites. But anyway, that guy has the best head and arm choke, one of the best I've ever seen in MMA. And he had Drago, and I showed him that defense. Hold on one second. I cough, people. I showed him. He used that thing all. He lost the fight, but he didn't get put out, man. He was in that thing. He was in that thing a bunch that night, and he used that same escape. You know, what up, Harley? What do you look?
Motherfucker we were talking about before. The guy we were talking about before. I have a hard time pronouncing his name. The Russian
David Lee Roth?
Khabib, Nurmagomedov.
Khabib. I was talking
I
about
love
him
Khabib.
before. Yeah, I love him too, man. But one of the things I really enjoy watching is the way he ties up motherfuckers' hands and then just beats the piss out of them. And it's like, so we were talking, and I was like, so they were saying he doesn't do jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, so he was Sambo or what? And they were like, yeah.
You know, Henzo's been working with him.
I haven't seen him
I've
over
seen
there.
Henzo.
But
I've seen Henzo work with him before.
But you know what? It's like the line between all the different grappling arts is starting to get so fucking blurry because now it's all becoming submission grappling in a way. I mean, because the Sambo guys are borrowing shit from jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu has learned from wrestling and all these different. It's now that MMA has been around for so fucking long.
Yeah, and the internet now.
Yeah, and the internet. You know, back in the day, remember people would show up with a fucking camera and they'd be like out. You know, they wouldn't even let motherfuckers take pictures or videotapes.
You know what's funny, man? Imagine if we had.
Dude, I got tons of fucking videos from back then.
Do you really? Any of I don't want to be. I don't want to.
Any
know
Matt?
about me. Any about me?
See the thing.
Any of us rolling or anything?
The problem is my tapes are all mixed up.
Any
Like
of the
they go
any
from
of the challenge
grappling
fights?
to like home porno to like all kinds of shit.
Well,
So
dude,
they're on my tapes.
send me the
Do
right
you
tape.
make home porno or do you watch it?
Oh no, I haven't made any in a while.
Send me the fight tapes. Send Jim the home porno.
But so you know, but I got tons of fucking. But this is back in the day when I was a blue belt. So you were probably purple belt.
Yeah.
You know, this is way back.
I would love to see that. That's what I'm saying, man. There was so much stuff, and we talked about when John Danaher was in here, of like knuckleheads coming in.
Oh, dude, remember when we had the academy over in the fucking methadone clinic building?
Yeah, 37th Street was upstairs a methadone clinic.
And you'd have like fucking drag queen meth heads fucking the elevator door open. There'd be all these dudes like, hey guys.
Well, Jimmy,
you know,
hold on, Jimmy, I'll give you the address.
That's a 2-for-1 building.
it was a
Jimmy's
fucking
like,
pistol.
I'll learn some arm locks and get a date.
But you know, this shit was no joke back then. I mean, everybody who trained was either looking to become a fighter, or they were a bouncer, or they were just someone who liked to fight. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to enroll my kid in a jiu-jitsu program.
Everybody did it.
You know?
Yeah, they wanted to learn this art. And back in the 90s, people didn't believe in it. That's what's the difference between now. Very rarely now do I have a guy that comes into my school saying, yo, I don't believe this stuff works. Very, very, we might have a knucklehead because there's always assholes out there, but very rarely. Back in the mid-90s, this jiu-jitsu thing, it was a double, we got hit with the knuckleheads that just didn't know what the thugs, and then we got hit with the fucking traditional martial artists that were worse.
Yeah, I was going to say they were worse.
It's like they spent their whole life, Jimmy, believing that breaking a brick is going to fucking do this and that.
Bricks
and then
don't hit back, motherfucker.
Dude, I remember getting ready for a fight, and Renzo had me had the guys try to keep me off with gloves, and I would just try an open hand. I'd smack them, but I would try to get them down. You know,
I remember watching you train like that. I remember watching you at the fucking Copacabana.
Yeah, Copacabana.
I saw you at the Copa. I saw you at that place out in fucking Long Island.
Copa, yeah.
Where was
That's
that place
right.
out in Long Island?
Vanderbilt.
The Vanderbilt. That's right. I saw you fight. And that was fucked up because I turned around to pay for my drink and you had already choked the motherfucker out.
That's right.
That was he
Barry
took
Manilow.
him down and choked. I was like, what the fuck was that? You cocksucker.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even get to see the fight. I
Blessing
drove all the
is-
fucking way out here.
Yeah.
Pay my drink and this motherfucker's asleep.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah,
and
man.
it was. You know what is funny though? I didn't get
Rodrigo, wasn't he on that bill?
Yeah, Rodrigo. We got our experience like kind of getting snuck onto.
Yeah, it was
onto kickboxing events.
It was like
Freestyle grappling.
submission grappling,
But it was a fight.
It was a fucking fight.
So that's why when people ask about my record about like before the UFC, I go, don't even count that shit. I was cool. I mean, I fought.
Yeah,
I fought some
but-
tough dudes, but it was more actually.
That shit was.
It was style versus style.
That was
These
me
guys
learning
didn't
how to.
really know.
That was testing the waters
Yeah,
and shit.
man.
And
But then it got to
basically-
the point, like my last guy, I beat up on a local level. He was going for a guillotine, and I remember backstage, he was some kind of kickboxing guy, and afterwards he goes, how'd you like that triangle choke I almost got you in? So I go, dude, get me out of here. I go, I'll fight in the big show. I don't care if I lose. I can't be fighting these guys anymore.
Fighting guys who fucking.
Well, I felt like a fucking bully. I don't want to be the big fish in a pond. I want to go swim with the sharks.
Yeah, but back then there wasn't all that many opportunities.
There wasn't
And the shit
experience
wasn't even doing.
on the-
They weren't even doing it on the East Coast at all.
man.
You know what I mean?
No, I couldn't get the right experience like the guys in the Midwest or on the in the West Coast got. You know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, Holly. I'm a bad motherfucker anyway.
That's right, man. Fuck with this motherfucker.
Just like you, motherfucker.
Fuck with this motherfucker.
Oh,
Shit.
dude, I miss you.
Can we praise one more guy too? I want to praise
Yes.
one guy that
Talk to me.
the redheaded dude from Philadelphia, Paul Felder.
Paul Felder. Oh, with that elbow he came in.
Oh my God, was he great?
Man, that elbow was nasty.
I thought he threw one earlier in the round. I thought he did a spinning elbow too, unless I'm mixing him up with another fighter. I know he ended the fight that way, but I thought he came in and I thought he threw a spinning elbow in the middle of the first.
Did he?
I might be remembering it wrong. Somebody did.
Listen, you might be actually right. I
Yeah.
mean, that first one, I was like settling in, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy.
Man, I fucking missed this fight. I'm
It's
listening
so
to you guys.
good,
man.
I'm like listening to fuck, man. You know, when you've seen as many fucking fights as I've seen, like, I've been watching them since the fucking UFC 1 and 2 and shit. It's like I start losing track after a while, and then it's like, but
Listen,
if it's
this-
a fighter that
Fox
there's
Sports
fighters
1.
that I love, and I
Yes.
will watch them no matter what. Like for me, it's more about the people that are fighting now.
100%.
Like there's certain people I'm fans of. There's certain people I just want to see them fight. And the rest of the time, it's like, hey, you know what? I've been doing this shit for 20 fucking years. I don't half these motherfuckers. I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe you should.
Yeah, maybe I should, but you know what?
I'm gonna tell you because I get excited. Listen, now not just because it's my job. But this is all I watch. You know what I mean?
No, but this is your whole life.
I want you to watch. I'm going to tell you when there's some certain cards coming up.
Call me up, motherfucker, and you just let me know. You got my number.
And before I forget, because I know we don't have to get off Paul right now unless you.
No. I just wanted to say I was really happy. I really enjoyed watching him fight. I liked him a lot.
The pretty boy, I'm going to call him.
Oh, the guy with the shampoo endorsement, Theodoro.
Elias Theodoro. He comes by my school sometimes when he's around here because he's over in Canada. So he comes by. He's been to my place a bunch. Nice, what a nice dude.
Yeah.
He puts that son of a bitch. Look at the guy, the way he looks. You think, oh well, at least he can't fight. The guy can kick ass.
Yeah.
Didn't they say he's on the cover of romance novels and shit?
Yes, and he has a big shampoo endorsement up there. He's like a really handsome guy.
I'm not getting that gig, the shampoo thing.
No, me neither. With a romance novel, let's be honest.
Me too.
We're not running for that either.
Anyone.
My book's a romance novel.
Yeah, fucking yeah. Look at that thing. Look at the. I'm gonna just tweet. I'm gonna tweet. I don't tweet, but I'm gonna Instagram. I'm gonna do that photo of you on that cover. Look at that. Yeah, that's a romance novel. Look,
you know it.
For fucking a fan of fucking Charlie Manson.
Hey.
But no, listen, I can't wait to read that though.
You know, my mom's back in the day, some of Manson's girls picked her up hitchhiking and tried to bring her out to the ranch, and she was like, nah, man.
Did they really?
Yeah, she was like, these motherfuckers were a little too weird, so I kept heading.
Is your mom still alive?
Nah, she passed a year ago.
Man, so did mine.
Yeah,
How?
Man, cancer.
Mine too, motherfucking cancer.
Yeah, that
colon
motherfucker.
cancer.
Fucker.
Gotta.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough, Harley.
It's
It
rough.
got me too.
But you know what? She fucking.
So she was out in California at one point?
Oh, yeah, I was out there. She hitchhiked all over the place. I hitchhiked all over the place. We're fucking maniacs. But, you know, I just want to say about my mom dying and shit, you know what? She faced that shit with more dignity and more, she handled that shit better than. Man, I've seen motherfucking grown men act like bigger bitches than motherfucking. And my mom was so. I hope that I can meet my maker the same way she did.
It's a weird thing with the cancer when somebody knows it's coming. Yeah. It's like I don't know what's worse because you get to say your goodbyes and this and that, and we had the whole family around the bed. My mom died on a hospice.
Yeah,
but she was at the home. But holy fuck, I remember just the whole time going. You just watch, and it's not like there's a machine there beeping. You got to watch for the sign, and you got to watch for in the neck if it's still moving. And I'm like this. I just remember going, this is brutal.
Yeah, it was definitely.
I want to live my life the most I can.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy this shit until I end up there because that shit's brutal. I'm not trying to take everybody down. So
no,
Chris, the producer, stop crying, man up.
Hey, you know what?
It's tough.
We all gotta go.
Man.
You know, we all gotta go.
I want to die the way I lived, fucking duck walking with cum on my fingers from my computer to the bathroom.
Where the fuck did you dig this motherfucker?
Oh God, I'm lightheaded again, dude. I might be the first one to go out of here. That's fucking great, Jimmy. Holy shit! What else do we got, gentlemen?
Then it's funny, not funny, but you mentioned cancer. And Paul Felder, his dad, he at the end of the fight, he goes, "Hey, this is for my dad." His dad, he said, is fighting cancer, so it's common.
Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, we're all gonna fucking go. So it's really just like getting a wake up call because whether it's fucking cancer or whether it's a fucking a bus, something's gonna fucking take you out, and that.
When you see it, it does.
With cancer, you just see the bus 8 blocks
it's
away.
Like
Come watch
slowly.
it.
It's like driving 2 miles an hour at you.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
But that's why you got to fucking enjoy every minute of life. And I am so grateful that me and my mom had issues for a lot of years because I took it personal that she was such a that she took me on the ride that she was on in a way, but. At the end of the day, we made up, and it was a beautiful thing. That's why at the end of the day, love wins. You gotta be a positive person. You gotta love the people in your life that you care about. That's really all that fucking matters. That's really the at the end of the day, that's all that counts.
Did you reach out to her, or did she reach out to you?
Oh, we were always in touch, but it was like once she got sick, it was like it really kind of it brought everything like all of a sudden it's like, wow, now I gotta suck it up and be there for her now and just put all the bitterness, all the bullshit aside because life is too fucking short. And you just gotta let go of that negativity, man. It's all just bullshit at the end of the day, man. You just gotta be able to hug each other and just say, fuck that bullshit. Even my old band members, I can't stand those motherfuckers, but I would be able to give them a hug and a heartbeat and just say, man, what the fuck, man? We're all grown men here. Like, let the negativity go and just fucking let's do something positive,
Is the falling out with the band, is it, because bands are really hard. It's a bunch of people.
It's like marrying a bunch of dudes and, it's miserable. It's like a marriage with no sex, and no love. It's like, you're like it's a fucking pickle party. It sucks.
Was it your fault or their fault or combination?
Dude, it's everybody's fault, man. Yeah. Music is like, people's egos get out of control once you got that spotlight on you and your ego gets fucking crazy. Once you start making money, it's all bullshit.
It shows who you really are, though, I feel. I see guys who handle power or fame or whatever you want to call it differently, man. It's down to earth. I mean, look, people say shit about Dana White. The guy's the same dude since I met him back in 2001. Same guy, and he's he's a way more powerful guy now than back then. But he's always been the same dude. And look, you motherfucker, you're the same guy.
Yeah,
I'm the same. Did I change?
You just got better looking.
Thank you. He's good. See,
and he's right.
Bring me on this. Hey, you know what? I've been motherfuckers been telling me I got to do a fucking podcast. I got to do this shit too, man.
It's fun, isn't it?
Saying?
Well,
I got to talk to these motherfuckers, man.
You're gonna be a friend of the show.
I better be a fucking.
Well, I'm gonna be telling you. Listen, bring the money and watch this pay-per-view. I'm gonna get you back in,
dude.
And I'm gonna be like, yo,
you know what?
Watch
you need the next time there's a fight in New York, motherfucker. Bring me. You fucking backstage pass me, motherfucker.
You're Harley Flanagan. You invented the hardcore scene.
You think Dana White gives a fuck about the hardcore scene?
You gotta be my +1? That's ridiculous.
Shit.
Well, either way, we're gonna be hanging out.
That's right, man.
Are you gonna be going back to Henzo's today?
Yeah, I gotta go teach.
Are you jumping on the
class
train?
in a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the
we'll
train.
get the train back. I'm so
you coming down with me? You coming down to Henzo's?
I'll come out right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come say hello.
Could do that.
I'm coming.
I don't
say
know
hello.
if he's gonna be there, but
I don't
who
give
gives
a
a
shit.
fuck?
I love Henzo.
You got Hollis and everybody.
Usually when
Gregor,
I meet up
Igor.
with Henzo, it's afterwards. We go around the block to Mustang Harris.
They shut it down.
No,
yeah, man.
That depresses me.
It's just fucking closed.
I'd go there with Master Henzo, and we'd have that Chimney beer. You ever have that?
No, I drink sake, man.
It's a strong beer. And next thing you know, my wife has to pick me up when I take the Long Island Railroad home, and I went out. This is twice when I went out with Henzo. And both times I fell asleep on the train on the way home because I got fucked up, and I'd wake up in like fucking Ronkonkoma. Tell it's like how many exits? I go, hey honey, so she's with the minivan with the kids at like
Jesus.
2 in the. She goes,
you suck.
She goes, you got. Why is your shirt ripped? I go, I don't even know what the fuck. But she loves Henzo, so I get a pass.
Yeah, Henzo can smooth most things out. If there's a motherfucker who can, it's Henzo.
I get the pass with Henzo. Yeah. Anytime I'm hanging out, when I went a night in the city, I go, honey, but I'm going to be with Henzo. I miss Henzo. She's like, okay.
Yo, we got to give a shout out to Hyan, man.
That's
Henzo, man.
Yeah, we talk about the Hyan is
Maniacs.
It's his younger brother that passed away.
Oh, love that motherfucker.
Yeah, of course you did.
Love that motherfucker. Of
course you did. He was out of his mind.
We spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
He'd get off the plane and come straight to my house.
Of course. I see. Oh, no, you guys were.
Yeah.
You guys were buddies.
Yeah.
No, Henzo,
and now his son's at the academy training. His fucking son's big as shit.
Is his son going to be there today? I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, man.
Is he? I'm going to come with you
man.
after this.
Yeah, do that.
Because I want to go.
Yeah,
I want to go see some people anyway.
Yeah, man.
I miss it down there. What's up, Jimmy?
We miss you, motherfucker.
You know what I like?
Before we wrap up, one thing we wanted to mention, Chris. We did mention it though. Chris wants us to mention about the Johnny Hendricks fight. But we did talk about that with Bisping.
Did we talk about
how good he looked against Lombard? Yeah,
I was really happy.
Me too. He's such a nice guy.
Oh, what a nice guy! And afterwards, I saw a clip. Where did I see this? I saw a clip of the post-fight thing, and Johnny's such a nice guy where you could tell how happy he was. Where he was answering a question, and a cell phone went off. He goes, "Could you shut that phone off?" He goes, "Oh, I'm only kidding. I thought shut the phone off." And he's laughing, like slapping his knee, and he was just so happy. And now I feel like I know the guy from being on. I was so happy for him, man.
Well, it's weird. It's like you can never just look at somebody and know. Like when you look at him at the weigh-in next to Hector Lombard. I mean, Johnny Hendricks is he's a big guy, wrestler body, but glasses on, a little beard, couple of gray. And Hector Lombard looks like an action figure.
No, he looks like a He-Man figure.
He literally looks like you created him in a lab. He's a perfect physical specimen.
But Johnny's got that, and Hector went for some beautiful takedowns. that Johnny just took away. And the one time he got him down and almost got his back, Johnny just got, it looks like a gorilla.
That was the third round, right?
He just got out and said, oh, you know what? It was almost, he's like, nah, fuck that.
He was a little slippery.
He stood up, the guy fell off him, and jumped to his feet. It almost just took, it was so cool the way he just got out of that it just took away everything the guy did to put him in that position.
Yeah, I was happy for him.
I was so happy.
He had lost,
Johnny.
what, 3 straight or something? He was in a tough way there.
Johnny in this division, it's gonna be interesting because he has to fight. This was the most he looked like the old Johnny.
Yeah,
because I guess the weight thing really was killing him, and he's gonna be undersized to some people, but he's got power. He's explosive. He's gonna be hard to get down and keep down. I'm interested to see what he does in the middle.
Well, they raised a good point about his reach too. He's gonna have the shortest. They were like,
that doesn't mean too much. I'm showing you my arms. Right away, I get defensive. You know, when I fought GSP, I remember they were doing the stats, and they went over the reach and everything. It was just getting worse and worse.
well, how much reach did he have on you?
You'd have to look that up, Chris, the producer. But it wasn't that. But it doesn't mean shit when you work your way inside. That's when he's going to be in trouble. And that's when he was in trouble. Well, I mean, all Van set it up, but it was more of the thing where every body type's got its advantage to disadvantage.
That was a rough fight for me to watch, man, because I fucking love both.
Well, you know,
guys.
well, George is a lovable guy.
You know, no,
but
he's
your
a
alliance
super
was
cool
to me.
guy.
What are you talking about?
Absolutely. But I mean, but it was fucked up because I'm like, damn, man, two of my friends are fighting. This is fucking uncomfortable, man.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker was coming and training at RGA. Yeah. You know, and hanging out with my kids.
Listen to me.
Listen
to me. I'm not putting you on the spot that we're on the air here, but you're closer to me.
Oh, fuck yeah. Man.
Okay,
There's no
good.
question about that.
If he was here right now, if he's sitting with Jimmy,
if he was sitting here, I'd be like, George, you know, I love you, but Matt's my fucking dog, man.
Don't you say
like,
that.
You know, shit, man. You fucking kidding me? You know?
Only because I know you so long, dude.
You know,
so good to see
No, but
you.
George is he's a gentleman, man.
Listen,
he's super cool.
There's not one person
know?
that's going to meet George and go, that guy. You know, no.
That Canuck fucking prick.
Yeah, he's just like,
he's a good guy, man.
A nice, humble dude, man. I like George a lot. I like
and
George a lot.
And he's got a twisted side to him that the public doesn't see, which is part of the beauty of him. You know, as we all do. But you know, once you get to know somebody and you it's no longer that public persona. And you're like, you know what, this motherfucker's way more down to earth than people will ever know. You know,
of course, man.
All right, well, yeah, this was awesome, man. And I'm going to promote your book, too. Don't forget, Holly has a book called Life on My Own. Life of My Own.
Get the cock out of your mouth, motherfucker.
Are you that close to talk to him like that?
I'm getting that close.
You can tell he's
getting that close.
And there are certain dates I've been on that would be a fair thing to say.
Hey,
all right, hardcore.
If he's a friend of yours, it's open season for abuse.
It's true. It's true. He's a good man.
And the introduction is by Steve Blush, and there's a great quote by Bourdain on the cover, Hardcore Life of My Own. And also the new single, which I liked a lot. I listened to it yesterday. What's it called? So I don't get yelled at.
It's called Friends Like You.
I think we should play that leading out of this.
We normally don't play music on this show, but for the first time, we're going to play music on this show. We're going to close.
I'm an honored motherfucker.
Well, let me see. You're going to get in trouble. We shouldn't. We're going to get in trouble. Oh, no, Chris, the producer. We're okay.
No, we're okay. The guy is right here.
Crank that shit.
Go ahead. Let's see this shit.
By the way, can I say 76-inch reach for GSP? You had a 68-inch.
That's an 8-inch difference.
Yeah.
Damn, you just had to throw that out there right before the song.
See this fucking thing? What am I doing right now?
Oh shit!
Making a fist.
Fucking thing.
See that fucking hammer?
Yeah. All right. Let's go before we.
I got one plug.
What's up? I'm sorry.
That's okay. March 14th. I forgot. March 14th, my Netflix special is premiering.
What?
So that's when it comes out. I got to start doing.
It's going to be where?
On Netflix.
Did you ever say before that it's going to be on Netflix?
Not on this show. No, I have not.
Oh, you said it on your
I've
other show?
told you. I think it slipped out once. I wasn't supposed to.
Oh, okay.
I think got mad at me.
Well, I freaking love Netflix.
Me too.
I can't. When's it coming out?
March the 14th. It's a Tuesday. And then it will just be there and it will live there forever.
And March 4th is it? Wait, what's the next UFC? Is that March 4th?
March 4th.
March 4th, yeah.
That's gonna be a big one. No, one. That's an important day because I think the same day or the day before comes out Logan. You still like that kind of shit? Or no?
You mean still like?
You grew up?
Dude, I was a fucking. That's for my kids, man.
Oh, well, I'm a big kid.
When I was their age,
That's rated R.
I
don't worry about your kids with that.
When I was their age, like superhero age, I was playing at the clubs.
Oh, well, don't ruin my good time. I'm excited about Logan,
man. I'll go see it. I'll go see it.
It looks like a badass film.
It looks cool.
Look how defensive I get. I get defensive with Jimmy if you mess with Jimmy, and I get defensive with Logan.
Oh, dude.
right.
I love defensive people. It's all good.
I'm okay.
It's all good.
I'm so
It's
happy
all
to see
good.
you.
Bro, it's a fucking pleasure, man.
Give me a pound. Not too hard, though. Not too hard. I know you. All right, listen to me. Let's play.
This was really fun.
Let's play this song, and you're gonna visit
Yes.
us again.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Yo, before you play the song, we got to give a fucking shout out to Renzo Gracie.
Do you wait until like an hour and a half in to really get energized? Motherfucker. No, you've been good the whole time.
The whole time he was
Get close.
energized.
Get close.
I had to stay quiet when you guys were talking about the fights I missed.
Well, listen, the next time you're in here, I'll let you know when the fights are on. I'm gonna be like, yo, you coming in, watch these fights, we'll bullshit about them.
Let's fucking go walk down the street and see if we can find some fights and fucking bullshit about them.
We're gonna have a fun time.
I'm telling
Yo,
you.
play that shit!